welcome back to another video from HSTV, and in today's video, as you can see by the title, we are going to be comparing traditional paper note-taking to the more advanced digital note-taking. Now, whether you're at school or university or medical school, you're going to have to take notes and you have to make this decision of which style you are going to go with. Now, of course, this will be subjective for everyone, but I'm going to try and use my experiences because I've used paper note-taking all throughout high school, and now at medical school I've been using digital note-taking. So I'm going to be trying to compare the pros and cons to help you make the right decision. Now, there's going to be 5 main comparison points in this video. The first one will look at convenience, the second one will be the tools required, the third will be organization, the fourth will be the learning curve, and the fifth will be my overall user experience of using both techniques. Now, I'll put timestamps in the description to help you guys out, and yeah, let's get on to it. So when we're talking about convenience, this is all about how quickly can you jot something down, okay? I think that's an important part of note-taking. Now, when we think about paper notes, you kind of need a piece of paper or a jotter or a pad of paper, and you need a pen, a pencil, or a highlighter or whatever, right? And if you don't have it, you can't really take the notes, and sometimes it can be a bit difficult to dig around for that sort of stuff, whether you're at home or at university. But if you're carrying it around with you, it's actually very easy just to take it out your bag and quickly note something down. There's no problems with it. Talking to the digital side of things, well, you know, if you have your phone or your tablet or your laptop with you, there's only like one of it, right? So if you have it with you, great. If you don't, then you're kind of screwed, right? Or you're gonna try and find a piece of paper now. So in terms of that, I think the digital note-taking is probably a little bit more convenient since it's just one of it, and the chances are you will have your phone or your laptop with you and you can quickly pull it out and jot something down. Now, this also depends on what kind of software or what kind of apps you're using, because some of them can take a while to load up. But for example, me using Samsung Notes, I find it incredibly easy to very quickly jot something down. So kind of depends on what you have, but I think that the digital note-taking wins for this. Right, let's talk about the tools required. Now, this is where things get quite different actually. So with a paper note-taking setup, it's pretty cheap, right? You can easily buy a pad of paper for a couple pounds and a pen or a pencil or something, maybe another pound, right? So in £3 you've actually got a pretty decent note-taking setup. Now, of course, you can expand that setup if you want to buy highlighters, rulers, compasses, etc, etc, right? You can build on that, but actually the basic stuff is quite cheap and easy to find anywhere, right? Now, on the other hand, digital note-taking can come at quite a great cost, so you really have to think about your budget. Now, for me, I use Samsung's Tab S7 Plus, and the reason for that is because it's touchscreen, it has a keyboard, but most importantly, it has pen, the S Pen that comes with it, and that way I don't actually lose the handwriting aspect of note-taking, because that's something that I was really into and something that really helps me to learn, and I was very cautious about moving from paper notes to digital notes. So I think having an S Pen or an Apple Pencil or something along those lines for digital note-taking is really good to keep that experience. Now, saying that, again, it does come at a cost, but once you've invested, you actually don't need to buy highlighters and rulers and all of this other stationery, because it's all built into the softwares and apps you can use. And I would call using like Samsung Notes or OneNote or Flexel or whatever, you know, app you're using, I would call that a tool. And a lot of the time these tools are free to use, very easy to use as well, and yeah, so I think in this respect it comes down to your budget. Probably the paper notes does win for tools required because it's a cheaper option, but the digital option, once you've got that investment, is actually a really long-term investment, and it gives you a lot of stuff in one like compact device rather than having to carry around paper, pencil case, and all that stuff. Alright, let's talk organization. Now, regardless of your course, you will probably have a lot of topics and subjects that you want to organize. Now, The big difference here is that paper notes are rubbish for this, unfortunately. In my experience, when I was in my last year of high school and I had a lot of subjects, I had a lot of topics, it was just like folders and folders piling up with paper everywhere, textbooks everywhere, heavy to carry to school, an absolute pain to try to find, a certain topic anywhere. So it was all like memory work and not efficient at all. However, the digital note-taking is a breeze. It's absolutely fantastic, and one of the big reasons that I've actually chosen to go with digital note-taking. Whatever apps you're using, they all have a really great organization system. Samsung Notes in particular, you can even search for particular words, search for a topic, and it will show you where that word or topic came up, and you can easily get directed to it. So very time efficient, and definitely digital notes wins on this. Alright, so the next thing I want to discuss is the learning curve of using either of these methods. Now, on paper, it's very easy, okay? Like, we've been brought up writing on paper. There's nothing really that difficult about it. Everybody can buy a pen or a pencil or a highlighter, and you can just quickly open the lid and use it. Your mother can do it, your grandmother can do it, your baby brother or sister can also write on paper. It's not hard at all, and I guess in terms of note-taking specifically, I guess that comes with a little bit of practice, but once you know your methods, you can write headings easily, subheadings, bullet points, you can draw tables, all that stuff, and it's easy, right? However, the learning curve for digital note-taking is a lot steeper, mainly because we're not really used to it. Now, I know like nowadays actually in schools they're introducing iPads and laptops and things, but that never used to be the case for me. So when I moved to digital note-taking, I found it really hard at first to choose an app that worked for me. I had to kind of learn how to write on the tablet because it's almost like no friction when you write, although it's like a realistic experience. It's a bit different as well, actually. So you kind of have to get used to it, and then there's a lot of tools as well. There's like shortcuts that you have to learn. If you want to draw a table, you can use like the shape tools, and everything is just new. It's not hard necessarily, but it's something that you need to practice, and then once you get quick at it, it's really efficient. So in the time that it takes you to put the lid on your pen and then pick up your highlighter, take off the lid, and then highlight, on digital note-taking it's a lot quicker actually, because you just click a button and then highlight. Okay, so it's a matter of practice, but definitely the learning curve for digital note-taking is a lot steeper. Okay, and very briefly, just to talk about my overall user experience of both techniques, well, I must say I'm a very traditional type of person, right? So I do like my old-fashioned paper and pen technique. I still use it all the time. I always have a pad of paper at my desk, okay, in case I need to quickly jot something down. But saying that, over my past 2 years of testing digital note-taking, I do think that for my course especially, it's a lot more time efficient and a lot more effective once you get used to using it. That's the big thing. In the beginning, it's a really steep learning curve, as I was saying. It's something that you really have to get used to and practice and get good at and quick at. Only then is it a really good tool. So, I think it comes down to you as a person, your learning techniques and what works for you. I'm quite a kinesthetic learner, quite a visual learner, so I really do like handwriting notes. And that's why something like a tablet with an S Pen does work well for me. There is something about having that friction when you write something on paper, but I think I've replaced it and found quite a good alternative on the Tab S7 Plus. Alright everyone, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope that you now have a better view of the pros and cons of digital note-taking and paper note-taking, and you can try to make that decision a little bit easier for yourself now. So if you have any questions or you need a bit of help still deciding, then please do ask me down in the comments and I'll try get back to you. I must say I'm going to be sticking to digital note-taking for now. It has grown on me. I was initially a bit skeptical, but I do think that it's a good, efficient method for the future. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.